Welcome back to The Rhode Show. This morning in The Buzz, a little doll seems to be stirring up a lot of controversy. The newest addition to the American Girl collection is raising some eyebrows. Now, in case you're not familiar with the American Girls, and I know you are because you have a daughter, they are wildly popular. They're very expensive. They're faux children. Tell me a little bit about them.
Well, the American Girl doll studio is in New York City, and it takes up half a block. It's kind of like FAO Schwartz for dolls. I mean, you go in there and the dolls, they stand probably, you know, 1.5 feet high, and they all have themes, they all have stories, you know, whether they come from the Wild West, or this one comes from the Depression, or this one comes from the 60s, or this and that, and they all have this whole grand story behind it, and all the extras that go behind it, you know. One was my daughter had, you know, Annie Oakley or whatever it was, and it came with a horse, and it came with a barn, and this, and by the time you're done, you spend $1,000.
And you know, it's owned by Mattel now, which is obviously a toy-making company, but it was actually started by a woman named Pleasant Rowland, who was just a housewife who lived out in Wisconsin, and she started the Pleasant Company making these dolls so that girls would get a little taught a lesson about history.
Right, a lot of it was about history.
The controversy with this particular limited edition doll is that it's a homeless girl whose father left the family.
Well, let's meet Gwen. Let's take a look at Gwen here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, father left the family, mother lost her job, and now she's homeless. So the question is this doll, would you be okay having your daughter? Is it appropriate? Would you be okay, Vince, with your daughter having this doll?
Why?
Because I just don't think it's necessary. When my daughter started to get into this, she was 6 years old. She got out of it at 10. I don't believe that a child between the ages of 6 and 10, which is the targeted audience here, needs to know and learn about the perils and the terribleness of the homeless situation. I think kids should be kids at a certain age.
But a lot of these kids are forced to confront I mean, especially in Rhode Island. You know, we have 12.9%, 12.10% unemployment in this state. A lot of people, you know, have seen their dads walk out and have seen their moms lose their jobs. And does it?
But do you need a doll to remind you of that?
Exactly. I'm with you, Vince.
Especially if she's homeless. Why does it cost $100 for the darn doll?
Yeah,
very interesting.
Exactly. What subset of that population is actually able to afford this doll? And by the way, why not send some of these proceeds to some sort of advocacy group for the homeless? That's not happening with these dolls either. But my issue with it is that I think maybe there's a lesson that can be taught, and maybe if you have time to teach your daughter this lesson and do it in a right way. But I'm with you, Vince. I mean, if you're handing your daughter a doll, you want it to be something that is
a distraction.
It's a fantasy.
Well,
who are you emulating?
Exactly
you don't want to be emulating.
That's what dolls are all about.
Yeah.
They're about fantasy. They're about dreams. They're about princesses. They're about becoming the first lady of the United States, or CEO of a company,
astronaut Barbie,
or whatever that has traditionally been male.
I actually want you guys to hear what some people had to say about this doll. Take a listen.
I think it's really a good idea because homelessness affects everybody at different economic levels. I actually think it's a good teaching tool.
I find the whole concept to be extremely disturbing, and it's not a doll that I would ever buy for a child.
No, I don't even see why you would make a homeless doll anyway, unless the homeless doll was going to benefit the proceeds to homeless people.
I'm afraid that they're going to pick up the idea that it's okay, that it's an accepted segment of society, that some children are homeless and some children are not.
Interesting, because of course children always thrive in stable situations.
Well, and not to mention, doll doesn't look homeless.
No.
Yeah, she was gorgeous.
In a pretty white dress with her hair.
Yeah, with that blunt cut bang.
The doll doesn't look homeless.
No. And I've got a problem with the price of it too. Listen, there's an important lesson to be learned for kids about the difficulties in life, but not in a doll.
There's a place and a time to learn it. 12 years old, 13 years old, as they get older and they're able to comprehend these things, that's the time where kids are starting to learn, or should start to learn, that there are terrible things that happen in the world.
You hand your daughter this doll.
And you should be thankful for what you have.
And you hand your daughter this doll, and all of a sudden she thinks Daddy's going to leave, and Mommy's going to lose her job, and she's going to lose her bedroom.
And we'd love to hear what you have to say, but you can head to foxprovidence.com for that. For now, though, we're going to head out to Courtney.